TC, transitioning to retirement. That's one of the most important financial decisions of your life. The current financial climate making many people question if they can still retire on schedule. I've got advice for you. Call Steve Cordasco, call John Walker, call the Cordasco team at Mercer Advisors. Let them run the numbers. Let them figure it out. That's what they do. They'll guide you through this important transition in your life. They'll create a tailored financial plan so that you can enjoy your retirement with the comfort and confidence your hard-earned savings provide for your lifestyle. What's the number, Michael? The number is this, 855-558-3500. Schedule a free consultation, 855-558-3500. The Cordasco Financial Network, that's a trade name owned by Mercer Global Advisors, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Securities are offered through Andrew Garrett, Inc., not affiliated with Cordasco Financial Network or Mercer Advisors. Client experiences vary. Successful outcomes are not guaranteed. TC, as you well know, for the YouTube presentation of the headlines that we do, there is a thumbnail. That's what we refer to it as. And we entrust PJ and Randy at Creative Outfit with creating the thumbnail.
You mean the gurus, the fabulous people that we work with? Yes.
By the way, please make sure that you are hitting the subscribe button. And if you want to be notified of our YouTube presentations, then ring that little bell. But for today's thumbnail, as we call it, I said, give me a picture of Biden and Trump and just have one word, codependence. And it was either Randy or PJ, I forget which of the two, who then wrote back and said, well, tell me what you mean by that.
Please explain. And by the way, they're not the only ones asking, so go ahead.
Well, they each needs the other. Each is deficient for some similar and some dissimilar reasons, but they've got their liabilities, but they're bolstered by the idea of the other. And let me try and explain. At Smerconish.com today, in the newsletter, posted on the website, a story from ABC revealing poll results. And these were poll results before this weekend's discovery of yet more documents, this time at the Wilmington home of the now president of the United States, the whole classified document thing. Headline, most Americans think both Biden and Trump inappropriately handled classified documents. The gist of it is to say people think that Trump has more culpability, but both of them have unclean hands, which I happen to agree with. Over 3/4 of the public, 77%, feel that Trump acted inappropriately in the way that he handled classified files. 77%. And again, this is a this weekend discovery number. 64% say the same thing of Joe Biden. And there's a very partisan difference in terms of how people feel about it. Republicans are much more incensed about Biden. Democrats are much more incensed about Trump. But that's the bottom line. And I'm reminded of when I had the poll questions. I've done it a number of times. One stands out in my mind because it was a CNN Saturday. And I said, did Biden just give Trump a get out of jail free card? And my recollection is that most people said, no, he didn't. Well, what do you think now?
Okay, so
it's like every day there are more revelations about this.
It was 39,360 votes. So that's a big 39,000.
39,000, right?
39,000. And 59.21% said no.
So there's like 60-40.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder what they'd say today. And I think that was about 2 weeks ago.
That was January 14th.
January 14th.
Yeah.
Okay. And then at a different time, I remember for the POTUS audience, I don't think it was a CNN poll question, but I tried to make the case.
I know where you're going.
That this increases the pressure on Merrick Garland not to indict Trump solely for the Mar-a-Lago documents. And I know that when I rolled this out, most people disagreed with that premise.
Okay, so this was 20,509 votes. Again, that was this audience.
Right.
Does the discovery of Biden classified documents diminish the ability to prosecute Trump? 67.61% said no.
Okay, so 2/3 said,
Right.
well, I wonder what I wonder what all of you think now.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to say it. I got the memo. The cases are not exactly the same. But the reality is, and this has become even more so since we were last together last Friday with another discovery, 2 presidents, okay, one's a former president, both now the subject of a special counsel investigation because of their mishandling of classified documents. And I get the Biden point, which is to say, we didn't know it, and we've been fully cooperative, and Trump is obstinate, and he knew exactly what he was doing.
It doesn't matter because people don't read more in depth. The headlines are eerily similar.
Correct.
The headlines are similar, and that's all you need to know.
Yeah, and so now let me come back to the codependency.
Yes, go ahead.
It's not my original thought, but what I meant by codependency, and Rich Lowry, writing for Politico, had exactly this same observation. I was also actually thinking about Mark Halpern, because Mark Halpern, when he was here last. Wasn't Wednesday because of an unusual schedule. He was here Thursday. But the title of his newsletter that day was Elmer Fudd for President, because Americans say we don't want either of these guys. In Rich Lowry's analysis for Politico, America may not want a Biden-Trump rematch, but Donald Trump and Joe Biden certainly do. And the closing piece, the closing paragraph of his analysis is this: despite their enmity, both men want and need each other politically. Whether that's what the country is interested in or deserves, well, that's a different story. What's some of the logic in all of this? He goes through the polling data that says voters really don't want Trump. A lot of Democrats would like to replace Biden. Trump wants revenge against a president who humiliated him in 2020 and who, with an approval rating in the mid-40s, would seem ripe for the picking. Biden wants to run against a persistently unpopular, controversy-plagued former president whom he beat once and used to great effect as a foil in the 2022 midterms. Trump's best argument is that his policies were better than Biden's. Biden's best argument is that he's not Trump. So these two guys, they want each other. If one face, like if Trump were to, for whatever reason, drop out, I think it greatly diminishes Biden's hand in not drawing opposition on the Democratic side of the aisle, because he's the guy who beat Trump. Right. Hey, he's old. And he's got some frailties, but
the thought of having the two of them again.
But he beat Donald Trump, so he'll beat him again. He'll beat him again.
Right.
Trump is even more diminished. Of course, Joe can beat him again. And from the Trump perspective, it's like a comparison between two older guys, and Trump gets to say, if he's smart enough to say it, well, look at my record only. Put away my bombast. That's kind of impossible. And just compare records of me versus the price of eggs today. But if it's not Biden, but if it's not Biden, if it's some younger whippersnapper, then Trump doesn't have that comparison and that argument. So, Randy, PJ, TC, everybody, that is what I meant by codependents. They are codependent.
I totally get it.
On one another. I need to call you out.
Me?
Yeah, for your Johnny-come-lately status. Each of us has a hat that we wore today. There's mine. Same old, same old. It's the Smerconish.com.
What?
Yeah, and TC is wearing a Philadelphia Eagles breast cancer, I guess,
What's wrong with this hat?
Nothing wrong with it.
Wow.
But I acknowledge I wasn't paying very close attention to the Eagles all season long.
You don't have to pay close attention to be cheering for them the whole.
I don't know. Don't you feel a little at the end you're getting in? Oh, Eagles.
No.
EAGL. Come on.
I don't feel that way at all. Did I drink beer and watch football this weekend? Why, yes, I did.
So
Thank
did
you very much.
Oh my God, it was an unbelievable weekend. And the poll question at Smerconish.com today. And I wanted to do. I'll probably do it the Sunday before the big game, but I wanted to do it now when there are 4 teams standing.
Oh yeah, I think it's great.
Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
I think it's great.
And I expect, because look, we're Philly based and we're a bit Philly centric. We get it. I think Philadelphia will win the poll today and deserves to.
Yeah.
And deserves
on
to.
The merits.
But it was an extraordinary weekend for football.
And there'll be another extraordinary one coming up.
Except
here we go.
For the Eagles game.
Oh dear.
I was so looking forward to it and had
listen, they were too good?
They were too good. I had the fire, the snacks,
the cigar,
the booze, the cigar, and within 5 minutes
you're like, oh,
it was over.
This is hysterical.
It was over. It was too much of a blowout, honest to God. I found it difficult to hang in for the whole time. All right, as long as we're hawking our wares.
What is happening over there?
I just want to show you
What
the
are you
benefit of the
unwrapping?
YouTube. All right, for the first time, I've touched one of these. I've spoken of them. I finally ordered mine.
What is it?
This is actually what I'm giving as a gift. But I'll bet you've never
Oh,
seen
no.
what it looks like.
Oh,
look,
my.
you gotta stand up.
Wow.
You gotta stand
I
with
have to
Harry
say-
against the monarchy.
I have to say,
the firm. And
it's a
TC,
great
the
shirt.
I know.
I can
Now
tell
you
how,
want one.
I can tell
now
how
you want
soft
one.
it is from here.
It's so soft.
Wow.
Yeah. Free Harry, and it's got the
That
dangling crown.
It's about to fall off is the best
hysterical.
thing I've ever seen.
It is absolutely hysterical.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
Okay. Back to Smerconish.com. Yes. Friday poll results. How about this? We talked about this with Danny Savalos on Friday. It seems like an eternity ago. 19,000. It's wait until you touch it. It is so
at that shirt.
Yeah.
I can't.
Would
even.
you wear it? Now that you see it, would you? You know you want one. You know you want
I
one.
refuse to confirm or deny.
Yeah. The big sizes are like out of stock
Oh,
already.
I wonder why.
Why do you think?
I think it's because so many big, strong men are against the
some
monarchy.
I think some big women want to stand with Harry against the
or some other
firm.
M word, monarchy.
You were here the day I figured it all out.
You're like, oh my gosh. Or what did you say? Foreign or domestic was, I believe, what
stand with
very
Harry
serious.
against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
There you go.
Friday, 19,000, let's call it 20, voted. Will Alec Baldwin be convicted of involuntary manslaughter? The no votes, 71.47%. That is the right outcome. TC, I confess, I didn't know it got this high.
Oh, yeah. It kept going up and up and up.
Saturday, 45. Have we ever hit 50,000? No.
I don't think so.
I think we can.
We definitely can.
45,739 votes
Start
were
gearing
cast.
up now.
Should the West give Ukraine everything that it needs to win? 91%. What's with all the tough talk through the voting? Every time since the conflict began, the invasion began a year ago, every time the more militaristic response is the one that wins the lion's share of the vote from the Smerconish.com audience. Okay, I loved this one yesterday, and we had 20,000 people vote on it, and I want to return to this at some point. I think this is the wrong answer. If George Santos is a consistent GOP vote in the House, will he win re-election despite his lies? 80.91% said no. No, he could never win re-election. Really? Think about all the flawed candidates in the midterm election who nevertheless were able to hold the support of their party. And in the end, in this case, I could see the same thing happening. Now, there's an eternity for Santos between now and his re-election in 2024. Who knows what's to come? I had a psychiatrist named Tracy Marks on CNN with me Saturday. Phenomenal.
Terrific.
She was
phenomenal.
phenomenal.
Gosh, she was terrific.
On what is a pathological liar.
So interesting.
And, do they even know that they're lying? And is it in the DSM? It's not. If it is in the DSM, like, is there a pill for that?
You also asked, you asked a really good question, which was, can they be treated for it?
Right.
And her answer was, yes, but it takes a lot of therapy. It takes a lot of therapy.
She's a keeper.
So good.
She's a keeper. She's got 1 million YouTube followers. I'm not surprised.
Well, that's the other thing is that that's not sort of just what she talks about. She talks about everything to do with.
I sent her a thank you note as I usually do with my guests, and I just said, "Hey, just bought your book. Thank you. You were excellent." And she wrote back and said, "Thank you very much." And I wrote back with a screen image from Amazon showing my purchase of her book. And she wrote back and said, you mean business. I'm like, yeah, I don't BS. If I tell you I buy your book, I buy your book.
Did you think she would not believe you? She is analyzing the hell out of you right now.
I'm analyzing.
She has got your number right now.
Well, it sounds
Did you
like
tell her that you like it when people invite you to things or you invite people to things and then they say no?
It sounds like a throwaway line. Hey, I'm going to buy your book. People say that to me, I'm going to buy your book. Do they really buy my book? In my case, if I say it, I do it.
But what I'm saying is you just gave something away about you, and she knows it.
Tell me what I revealed. I'm nervous.
You revealed that you don't trust anybody. That when someone tells you that, you think
people
it's BS.
know that. I'm cynical. I already mentioned today's poll question: Bengals, Chiefs, Eagles, Niners, or maybe I'm supposed to say the cities: Cincinnati, Kansas City, Philadelphia, San Francisco. Who wins? Who wins in the Super Bowl? The big game. The big game. TC, I don't know this Midwest burger chain called Culver's, but it's like a big deal that they are switching from Pepsi to Coke. Which do you favor?
I don't drink either one of them, but when I did,
What?
I don't drink soda, but when I did, I drank
What?
Diet Coke.
Coke was your thing.
Coke was my thing.
If I have a choice between the two, I go for Pepsi.
Yeah.
I go for Pepsi.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know if I could tell the difference. Like if I did the
Oh,
Pepsi.
come on, you could totally tell. The
I don't know,
difference.
but I'm more Pepsi.
Yeah.
Like Pepsi, we have both in our house, but Pepsi is
Both in your house.
yeah, Pepsi in
I
our
think that's unusual.
yeah.
So yeah, the Culver's thing is hysterical. Then if you read till the end, their big thing is root beer. So they're like, everyone calm down.
We still have root beer.
We still have root beer. Exactly.
I love it. I like. There's a place in South
beer
Jersey
floats.
over the bridge, Stewart's. I hope it's still there. Where, like, I would drive so far out of my way if I were taking depositions in New Jersey to go to Stewart's root beer, and you'd pull in, and it was like 1950 style. They come out to your car, cheeseburger, hot dog, and a root beer.
Come
Love
on,
it.
you're hungry now.
Other headlines that I've not yet gotten to: Smerconish.com, the newsletter. Losing their religion, why U.S. churches are on the decline. A lot of churches are shuttering. Churches are closing at a rapid rate in the U.S., researchers say. Congregations dwindle across the country, and a younger generation of Americans abandon Christianity altogether. Does that pendulum ever swing back? I don't know.
How's your church? How's your? I mean, you've been talking pretty openly about your resurgence to Catholicism. How's that going?
I'm doing fine. I'm contrary to the numbers.
Yeah?
Hey, you want to know something amazing?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course.
Listen to this. On Friday, we got the news that Jerry Blavat, the Geeter with the heater, this legendary Philadelphia disc jockey, close to Frank, close to Rickles, close to Sammy.
I love it. You say Frank, Rickles, and Sammy, and everyone knows. Who you're
Well, they
talking
know
about.
now. So, but a character. We use that word as a compliment here in these parts,
For sure.
and Philly's got a lot of characters. I'm sorry, Cleveland. I'm sorry, San Diego. I'm sorry, Austin. If I were born and raised in your community and spent all of my 60 years there, I don't think I'd be saying, Austin, we got a lot of characters. Philly is just a character kind of place. And Blavat, Jerry, the Geeter at the top of that list. Okay? Ready for this? So I assume that in your Episcopalian church, TC, there comes a moment where the mass is offered for, and they name somebody who's sick or somebody who has died in the congregation.
They can't. It's more like that we pray for the sick or pray for those who have passed.
Okay, you ready for this?
No way.
Yesterday,
That's the best thing I've ever heard.
there was one name offered in mass for whom the mass was being said. The Geeter.
Did they say the Geeter?
No,
or did
they said Jerry Blavat. I'm just.
I love that.
I'm sitting.
Who in the church? Who organizes that?
Well,
Who
wait a minute.
says that?
No. The Geeter is not in my parish.
No, I understand that. So
I'm telling
more,
you.
I'm asking,
I'm
who assigns that?
I'm speculating.
The priest?
I'm speculating. There's no way that came from one church.
That's what I'm asking.
No, that had to be
the
archdiocese wide. People on social media.
I love that.
People on social media. You have to tell me
right now.
Did you go to church yesterday? Did you go to mass yesterday in Philly this weekend? Maybe it was Saturday. And was the mass said for Jerry Blavat? I was floored by that.
That's so cool.
I was just so. And he told the stories in the book club podcast about growing up in St. Monica's Parish.
Oh my gosh.
So thought that was interesting. Okay. TC, did you see the headline that I wrote for this story from CNN.com?
Which one?
Pig 1, Butcher 0.
Okay, I thought that was kind of in bad taste. I'm not gonna. Did you snort? What? You're not snorting? What on earth? I thought
Pig 1.
I thought it was
Butcher 0.
I thought it was in bad taste. I'm not gonna lie to you.
All right, I apologize.
You should.
To the extent I've offended pigs or butchers.
The butcher can't be offended because he's
dead.
He
fell on his cleave.
He did. Because the pig came back
now,
alive.
Here's the hypocrite that I am. The hypocrite that I am.
Okay.
I cheered the story and ate pork chops this weekend.
Yeah, I had carnitas last night.
I'm a total fraud.
Wow.
A total frickin' fraud. I'm running out of time. I'll just make it this. Go look at the photograph of the MLK Memorial.
Because once you see it in one way, you can't unsee it.
I like it, though.
I
like it.
I get it.
Right.
I also can see what the issue is.
Okay, I'm going to say it, and I apologize. I didn't look at it and see penis until it was pointed out to me.
But once it's pointed out to you, you can't unsee it.
Right. Okay, but because it's like a highlights puzzle when we were kids in the dentist office, because now you see the penis in it.
Where's the carrot?
Does that mean...
Where's the slingshot?
The carrot, yes, the carrot. Once you see carrot in MLK, now does it ruin it for you?
I hope not.
I still like it.
Pretty spectacular for Boston.
Yeah, I want to see it. When I go to Boston, I'm going to go see the MLK statue that is, and I think it's a good thing that it's drawing all of this conversation, even controversy. So check that out. All right, there's a lot more there, but it's all at the website at Smerconish.com. Subscribe to the newsletter. Please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. TC, I listened to TC After Dark this weekend.
What'd you think?
Your interview with Craig Laban. I thought it was great. You were enamored with him, and you asked a lot of good questions. I was really thrilled.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, you have an analysis. I can see it in your head.
There was one thing I wanted you to ask him.
What was it?
Okay, Craig Laban is a nationally renowned but Philly-based food critic.
Yeah, he's the food critic for the Philadelphia Inquirer, the restaurant critic. He's amazing.
He's the man. And I don't think he sits for interviews like TC was able to get from him. It's a wonderful podcast.
And?
Really great stuff.
Come on.
No, I'll tell you privately. There's like one thing I was wondering. You want me to tell you now?
Yeah.
Okay, I wondered about how he feels about when he's written a review and he just takes a restaurant down.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a great question.
It's a great interview.
Part
2. TC After Dark, TC After Dark. Okay, see ya.